Hakadosh Boker Tov. We're going to start now with Halachot of Leluy in Siman Resh Ayin Vav. It's a very important Siman because this has to do with benefiting from the lights, which means, because the Siman starts by saying Dinen Ner Sheli Goy b'Shabbat, the Halachot of lights which are lit by a Goy on Shabbat. And therefore we're going to have to understand the Halachot behind what it is Leluy and what is permitted to benefit, what is prohibited to benefit. So we're going to start as follows. Goy shilik et haor b'Shabbat me'atzmo letzorach Yehudi. When a goy comes and he's going to turn on the lights on his own accord for the necessity of the Jew, or she'asa shor melachot, or he did any other types of a melacha which are prohibited to do on Shabbat, whether it's an melacha doraita or derabanan, whether it's prohibited, whether it's rabbinically or from the Torah, and even if he didn't tell him or he didn't hint to him, the rabbi still prohibited to have benefit from this light on Shabbat. And even after the Shabbat, it's going to be prohibited until it passes the time of Bichtei Shiasu, which means the time that it takes to do the melacha on Motzei Shabbat. So therefore, we're going to have to understand that there's two halachot in Leluy. There's Leluy, and then there's Hana'a Mimlechet Goy. Leluy means I'm not allowed to tell the goy to do a certain melacha, but that's not in this siman. Part of it is in the siman, but not completely. The other part of it is Hana'a Mimlechet Goy. Hana'a Mimlechet Goy means even if there was no Amira, which means I did not say anything, but rather it was done on his own, and I didn't hint. Some people, they say explicitly, and then they say, I only hinted it to him. No. There was nothing. He came in, he saw that the light was off, he turned it on. I didn't even say a word. I didn't wink to him. I didn't look at him. I didn't look at the lights. I didn't look anywhere. He came in, he saw me, he turned on the lights. Now I have another prohibition, which is called Hana'a Mimlechet Goy. Hana'a Mimlechet Goy means I'm not allowed to benefit from that which the Goy does for me, right? And therefore what happens is that, and by the way, the Hana'a is going to be prohibited for two reasons. Either because it's a disgrace to benefit from that which was done on Shabbat, right? Or in order that I don't tell the Goy to do it next time. Right? There's two reasons brought down in the Rishonim, whether it is between Rashi and the Rambam, there's the Ramban, there's a few different of the Rishonim, and therefore what happens is I'm not allowed to come, and I'm not allowed to benefit. When am I not allowed to benefit until? Bichtei Shiasu, which means on Motzei Shabbat, the time that it takes for them to do the melacha, that's when I'm not allowed to benefit. Why? Because if not, then it's for the purpose. For example, let's say right now I have a pizza store, and what's going to happen is I want that on Motzei Shabbat, the pizza store, it goes, starts cooking right away. So what am I going to do? I'm going to have that the goy turns on the oven on Shabbat. So therefore, by the time it comes Motzei Shabbat, and I'm going to be there and putting in the first pizzas, the oven is already warm and everything is going to be perfect. So therefore, I'm benefiting from the melacha of the goy. Even if I didn't tell him to do so, if I'm going to benefit from it, what's going to happen is I'm going to tell him to do it next time, and I'm happy about it. So therefore we tell him, okay, fine, 1 second. How long did it take for the oven to warm up? Half an hour? Chazak Aruch. Right now, Motzei Shabbat, the time that it takes, a half an hour, you're not allowed to do nothing with it. Why? We do not want you benefiting ad bichtei shiasu. Bichtei shiasu means the time that it takes to do that. There will be a very interesting question that we'll speak about another day, which is what happens if the bichtei shiasu is forever. For example, there's a bar mitzvah on Shabbat, and or for example, sometimes it happens with caterers. I've seen it many times that they come and the goyim will come and start taking pictures. And then they come and they give it to the caterer. They say, look how beautiful we went, and we set up the table. That could be, if it's asur bichtei shiasu, it could be you'll never be permitted to use those pictures. That's a shita of Rabbi Eliyashi, but we'll speak about it another time. Right? Why? Because the time that it takes in order to do it, well, that's it. That's what there was. There was no other time. It's not like now you could replay the bar mitzvah and you're doing the bar mitzvah again. So Be'ezat Hashem, we'll speak about that another time. But the first halacha, which is very important, is that a goy that comes and he's going to light a candle for Israel, it's a suit for everybody, even if it wasn't going to be lit for that person. And he says, why? Because we do not want to benefit from that which the goy does. It's called Hana'a Mimlechet Shabbat, and therefore it's going to be prohibited. Now the Yisur of Hana'a from Lechet Shabbat doesn't matter whether it's the person that it was done for or other people. Meaning it doesn't matter whether it's done for me. So now if the goy did it for me, you cannot come into the room and start reading as well. Because it doesn't matter who it was done for, it's going to be prohibited for both of them. Nevertheless, they comes and they say that that's only going to be if it's going to be a melacha doraita. If it's going to be a melacha d'Rabbanan, which is rabbinically prohibited, so then it was only going to be prohibited for the person that was done the melacha for, or the people that are somech al shulchano, which means the people that are dependent upon them. However, though, for other people, it is going to be permitted to benefit from that melacha on Shabbat. Okay, now to do with otza'ah chutz tchum, which means taking outside of the tchum, if the goy brought something from far away, and he brought it from outside of our jurisdiction of the 2,000 amot after the houses stopped for the Yehudi. So it says the other Jews are allowed to benefit from it on Shabbat itself, and even if he brought it from a very far away, which is for sure outside of the tchum of even 12 mil, which according to some opinions could even be doraita, but there's a machloket over there, so therefore they say that you're allowed to, even though he says, some achronim want to say that which they wanted to permit was only when the halacha was done, the melacha was done on his own accord, but if he went and he told him to do a melacha, so therefore even for other people it is going to be prohibited to benefit. So only if the goy does it on his own accord, and it's going to be a drabbanan, then other people could benefit. But if it was that you told the goy to do the melacha, even though it was a drabbanan, it's going to be prohibited, and we'll continue with Zat Hashem tomorrow.